Chickpeas. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to make delicious garbanzo beans in the Indian style. So what you see here is garbanzo beans that was soaked overnight, and I'm going to rinse it really well, like 3 or 4 times before I pressure cook it. But you could also use an Instapot or even a simple pan and boil it directly on the stove. So now that I've rinsed it, I'm going to add some water, and the cooking ratio is usually 1:3, but you can change this depending upon how much gravy or sauce you want in your beans. Soaking beans overnight is important because they tend to create flatulence, but that also has to do with how we eat our food. There is another way to help you guide how much water you should put. So if you put your finger just on top of the beans, there should be about this much water on top. And I don't want a lot of gravy in the way that I'm cooking now, so this should suffice. And going back to the flatulence issue, so if you liquefy your food before you swallow, it creates less bloating issues in the food eaten. And adding some black cardamom, about 2, is also helpful in reducing the flatulence problems. And it also adds a delicious aroma and fragrance to the beans. Now you can add some salt to taste. Garbanzo beans is widely recognized as an ingredient for making hummus, but you will see that cooked this way, you can actually have it with rice, quinoa, bread, or by itself, or with other vegetables, and it's one of the most wholesome and delicious foods in a vegetarian diet. So that's all you have to do. Put in the salt and the black cardamom and cook the beans till they are softened, either in a pressure cooker or in a covered pot. So while the garbanzo is cooking, all you have to do now is prep up the other ingredients, which is going to include tomatoes. You can use 1 or 2 medium-sized tomatoes and dice it down to small pieces. The other important ingredient we're going to use is ginger. Take about 2 inches long piece, peel it, and then we're going to slice it down and later on saute it. Ginger has many benefits, and one of them is actually helping the body digest the food. Mother Nature provides innumerable ingredients to be used in right combinations to help our body. And this is how this pressure cooker works. So there is a whistle like this when the pressure builds up. So every Indian family has this kind of pressure cooker, and you learn by experience how many whistles to give for the food to be ready for eating. I gave the garbanzo beans about 5 whistles, and after the pressure is released completely, and you can check by lifting the whistle on top a little bit, you open the lid, and then you can test for readiness by pressing on the bean a little bit, and if it's not ready, you can actually close it right back and give it a few more whistles. And if you're using another pot, just check for however soft you want the bean to be and cook it for as long as you want accordingly. But here the beans are ready as I want them. So now I'm going to add the other ingredients that have been prepped up. 3 or 4 tablespoonfuls of a pre-made spice mix called chole masala, which is available in any Indian store. You can make this masala at home, and I'll show you how another time, but I also keep this premix handy at home because it's convenient. You can actually adjust the amount of this spice mix that you want according to your tolerance of heat. It's not so spicy, as in it's not so hot. And the next thing I'm putting is roasted cumin seed powder that I made at home. It's easily made. You can just roast some cumin seeds on a skillet and grind it in your coffee bean grinder. So 3 or 4 of these little spoons is good. You can use a teaspoon, of course. And it gives a beautiful dark rich color to the garbanzo beans and a great flavor, and of course it's a great digestive aid. This is 1 small onion diced up, and I still have the flame going at a medium to sim setting. Keep stirring as you add the ingredients. Garbanzo beans is avoided by many people because they are held to be very high in carbs. But there are so many benefits these beans bring us that are neglected. They have protein, the B vitamins, and minerals like iron, zinc, phosphorus, and fiber. And the starch in them is actually digested slowly, so they're actually good carbs. You can add the tomatoes that you had diced earlier and stir it up. New research is actually indicating that the kind of starch that garbanzo beans has is actually very beneficial for the body. They help in weight control because they make you feel full. The breakdown of garbanzo beans produces what is called the short chain fatty acids, and short chain fatty acids is also produced by soluble fiber, and although some of the fiber is shown as having calories, but these calories do not raise blood glucose. Research also now recommends 2 to 4 cups of garbanzo beans per week. And as the garbanzo bean mix is simmering, you can saute the ginger. Just put in a little bit of ghee, that's clarified butter, or oil if you wish, in a skillet. The kind of short chain fatty acids produced in the breakdown of chickpeas is actually good for the colon cells. When the oil is hot, put in a pinch or 2 of asafoetida, which is actually a commonly used spice in India for cooking beans and lentils since it counters flatulence. And that's cumin seeds, which is used not only for flavor but also as a digestive aid because it helps reduce the heaviness of the beans. And when the cumin seeds begin to sizzle, we are now ready to add ginger that we had sliced up earlier. And at this point, we also have an option to add dried pomegranate seeds. They are loaded with antioxidants, they're great for the heart, for the joints, and are full of fiber. And they also have a tangy and sweet taste at the same time, and therefore add a great flavor to the beans. And here it is, everything mixed up, simmering and blending beautifully with a great fusion of taste and balance. Now the last thing to put is a garnishing herb, cilantro. So if you like it, and I love it, it adds a great flavor and it's put in almost every Indian dish. Chop it up and throw it up on top. Now garbanzo beans is also now known to lower the bad cholesterol and triglycerides and is therefore definitely a heart friendly food. And the short chain fatty acids that are produced in its digestion actually increase mineral absorption in the body, especially calcium and magnesium. So go ahead and enjoy it as hummus or boiled as a salad topping or in this Indian style.